Hello and welcome to the show. Fitty and Fatty, Brack and Ian. How you doing, buddy?
Good. What's going on, man?
Nothing. What's going on with you?
Living the dream.
Living the dream
Living the dream.
in Arizona.
In Arizona, in hot 100,000 degrees.
I've been that bad lately.
It's getting there. It's coming. I think we got a warm front coming through.
Yeah, had a little storm over the weekend that I think cooled it down on Friday night.
That was nice.
That
Yeah,
was
we
nice.
were out working, and that was nice to have that
It
little.
was nice. Hey, you know how you see YouTube channels or you see people with their videos, and on the bottom it'll like scroll across that says like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah.
You see how people do that?
Yeah.
Well, I can't figure out how to do that.
Oh.
But
What?
I have adapted and overcome.
That's what we
So
do.
instead of scrolling along the bottom, here's what I did. Like, comment, subscribe. Now pretend that just scrolled right along the bottom. See, subscribe. So
Yes, please
do
do.
it.
Please do. Please
Do
help
it.
us. Yeah, help us out to keep this going. We're not even asking for money. We're just asking, hey,
Buddy,
to participate, to show us some love, to like us.
just participate.
We're just asking to like us.
Just a little bit.
That's all.
Maybe they don't.
I get it,
I
but
get it too.
there's got to be somebody in it.
It's gonna be one person who likes it.
Yeah.
Just one. I mean, there's proof there's people listening
I
to
was
it.
saying my mom, but she's dead.
Today was her birthday.
Today is her birthday. Yeah, God
God
bless.
bless.
God bless.
Rest
God
in
rest her
peace.
soul. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Oh, I'm gonna move that to the side. So how's your diet going? What you been up to the last week?
Mine's great. So we talked last week about my refeed day.
Refeed.
Yeah, 'cause remember I was stuck about that 222 to 225, just stuck there for like 2 weeks. I did that carburetors, carbohydrates, refeed day. So I ate clean carbs. I kept my macros as far as my proteins, my fats about the same, but I increased my carbs to like over 500-600 extra calories of carbs. And I don't know if it's quinky dink or what, but literally the next day I started dropping weight again.
There
So
you go.
now I'm down to, I'm stuck like I said, the best I've seen on the scale before that was 222. The other day I'm like at 218.
There you go. Good
Yeah.
job, buddy.
So thanks. Yeah. So you know, when I start shedding all this, I start getting worried because I don't want to lose muscle mass. So I gotta really be cognizant of I'm not losing. I don't want to look skinny, thin, and weak. You know, I want to look just leaned out and muscular. So, but anyway, it seems to be going well. How about your damn self?
So here's what the fat guy's up to. As
Mhm.
I talked last week, I was going to kind of take just a week off. And I did, but I didn't go too overboard. I was planning on going a whole lot more overboard than what I did.
Okay.
So I gained a pound last week.
Okay.
So I was originally down 22 pounds. I'm only down 21. So I got not horrible.
bad.
No,
Not bad.
not the worst thing that could have happened. But had I stayed on it, it may have been 2 pounds lost instead of 1 gain.
Sure.
3 pound difference if you look at it. But yesterday, no little barbecue for 4th of July. Got right back on it yesterday. And I need to get that crap back out again.
Yeah.
And then I'll feel that energy. But I tell you, not as much yesterday, but as today being on day 2. Man, I'm just freaking feeling cranky as a motherfucker, man. Just like the slightest inconvenience is times 100, right?
Day 2 of not allowing yourself all those
Of-
extra.
of 1,000 calories.
Oh, okay, down to 1,000.
Right.
Okay.
I think it's just your body getting out those toxins and the crap that I ate the last week. And just cranky.
So you think it's a physical? You feel it's a physical, not just a psychological.
It's
mental?
both.
Yeah.
Absolutely both. Is the shit that I ate, and because I ate barbecue, there were sugars in it,
Oh, yeah.
and I was trying to really stay away from sugar and carbs as much as I could.
But you slathered that in some extra sauce, didn't you? The
Oh yeah,
barbecue.
oh yeah.
I don't even. I don't have anything against barbecue sauce, but I prefer a good dry rub. I think it just tastes better.
Yeah.
Who wants their hands all nasty and dirty and like you're a fucking 6-year-old kid?
Right.
Go ahead.
So here's what's interesting about sugars, and you just kind of made me think about it, is you get Europeans that come over to America, and they go, everything's so sweet, including the bread. Like bread tastes like it has sugar in it to them. Like I think everything in
Because it
America.
does. We put fucking sugar in everything. Corn
Everything.
syrup.
So it's
Yes.
addictive, right?
Yeah.
If you think about this, when you were a young kid, McDonald's was popular then it is now. And I tend to pick on McDonald's a lot, not only in my other blogs, but here. Is when we were a kid, large fry was this big, right? But now a large fry is this big. A medium Coke, a large Coke was that big, but now a large Coke was that big, right?
Yeah.
Is our generation when we were kids, is what used to be large is now a small, right? You go to Circle K or QT in 64-ounce cups.
You get
Right.
You can get a suitcase of
Right.
Coke. You get
So
a suitcase of beverage.
It's the same way with portion size. Is I think when we were kids, a portion was a portion, right?
You had a plate, and you usually just put your proteins and your vegetables and your starches on your plate, and that's what you ate.
Right.
But now it's not. That's not what we do.
Right. Was a kid's meal when we were kids was a hamburger, a cheeseburger, and a small fry.
Yeah.
But nowadays, and that's about what a portion would be, right? But now you got double quarter pounders with cheese. You got the triples at Wendy's. You got the heart attack grill. You got
Yeah.
it's just portion control. But back to my point,
Extra large
is
pizza.
I think Americans put more sugar in things because sugar is addictive, right?
Yeah, I would say this. Yeah,
Right.
I would think sugar's addictive.
But even bread has sugar in it.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So here's my other point. I was reading this article. Why does restaurant food taste better? And they point to one thing, which was at the top of almost every chef.
Let me
The
before
internet-
you can
Okay,
say.
go
Let me
ahead.
take a
Go ahead.
guess.
Go ahead, take a guess.
Sodium, salt.
Butter.
Oh, that's not. But butter's not bad for you.
Not horrible, but
That's a good fat. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, no.
they cook things with more butter in restaurants than you normally do at home, and they season a
Well,
little bit.
and we should be cooking with more butter at home. You should get rid of all those bullshit oils.
So why do you say butter is a good fat? Is that what you just said?
Yeah.
Butter is a good fat.
Yeah, it's a good fat. Yeah, it's low carb. I think there's some proteins in the milk fat in there. Yeah, because whole milk. It's better to drink whole milk
Right.
than it is like a skim or a low fat, because you know how they have to make that low fat and that skim taste good.
Okay.
They have to put sugar in it.
Right.
But the whole milk just has as good natural fat, so that's what you like.
So, and I'm confused, and I'll of course defer to you on this. But growing up, all we heard was butter clogs your arteries and it's cholesterol, right? No.
Same thing with the eggs. They said they go back and forth with eggs all the time. Yes, with some people it can affect. It can raise your cholesterol, but that's because you're already fucking teetering on having a heart attack anyway. So don't eat more cholesterol if you already have an issue with it. But the eggs didn't cause it.
So it's so confusing for everybody who's watching, everybody who's listening, and for me and you both. Eggs are bad, eggs are good, eggs are bad, eggs are good, butter's bad,
Right.
butter's good.
Right.
White bread is good or bad, it has sugar in it. So, every 10 years, things change.
Not change. They get better with research. They get better with science. I don't think that. I don't think that they're flip flopping back and forth. I think
Okay.
it just the research gets better.
Gotcha.
We get more intelligent.
All right.
The technology even gets better.
So you're saying straight up butter. Now, what about this crap that they put in the tub and call margarine?
Yeah.
That's not butter.
Do you
right?
know there actually there's molecules of there's plastic. That's more plastic in margarine than there is, I think, any type there's no
Right.
butter in it. But there's a lot of plastic in there.
Right.
So
And that's what I was just gonna say is I heard or read somewhere that margarine was one ingredient away from being plastic.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Yeah, but it's nasty. It's horrible for you. But I don't even know what effects it has or anything. I just know that it's not good for you and it's nasty. But yeah, we grew up on margarine.
But people say, for the sake of a lawsuit, what's that one called? It's better than butter. I can't believe it's not butter, but it's not butter,
Right.
and it's worse for you.
And I think the way they try to pitch it or when we went through that whole like, you know, if you eat fat, you're going to get fat. So
Right.
I think that margarine that has less fat. That's why they're trying to say it's better for you because well, it doesn't have fat in it or it doesn't have whatever in it. But now we're finding out well, no, there's good fats. There's not so good fats. There's no bad foods. There's just if you abuse foods, right?
Right.
Like you could eat a macaroni cheese out of a box. I don't recommend it. But you only eat like one once in a while. That's not bad. It's just there's healthier ways.
If you eat a whole box every day for every meal.
Exactly. Yeah.
Gotcha. So here's the deal, and you are not up to speed on this, but we were talking over the weekend that right now I'm at 343, and as much it is this is as much about people watching as it is about me, and that's why I do this because if we can help one person lose weight besides myself, right? So I'm 343. I started at 362. So we were talking over the weekend while we were out consulting is I'm going to be below 300 pounds by the end of September.
Yes.
And then we started talking about accountability, right? And we did an episode before where it's nobody else's business, right? It's my business is my business, and my weight is my weight. I'm not married and I don't have kids, so who gives a fuck?
Right.
I'm fat or not,
You
right?
kind of had the you had the kind of the take that you didn't like people asking you when you said you were on a diet or they knew that you were on a diet. You didn't like people asking you about it or trying to.
It's my business.
Yeah.
But here's what I'm going to do to add accountability to anybody who's watching, plus me, is September 30th will be our goal. And I want anybody who's listening, watching, to make their own goal. And let's make a bet. You ready for the bet?
Ooh, a little wager.
A little wager.
A little wager.
That. So I'm at 343, so I got to lose 44 pounds. Today is July 7th. So July, August, and September. That gives me 2.5 months, 2.5 plus months
Yeah.
to lose 43 pounds.
Okay.
And here's the consequence if I don't do it.
Okay.
Is everybody on YouTube or on our podcast that likes, comment, and subscribes is entered into this bet.
Okay.
So if on this podcast or this YouTube video they like, comment, and subscribe, and I don't lose 43 pounds and I'm not below 300 pounds by September 30th, I'll send them a $100 bill.
Yeah, well, I know your cheap ass ain't gonna send anybody $100 bill, so I'm sure you're gonna do it. So,
but here's the point: I'm making a goal. I think it's a realistic goal, and I can be accountable to myself, but myself only. Because maybe somebody out there they're overweight like I am, but they have kids that are teenagers, and hey, I want to live long enough to walk my daughter down the aisle, or I want to live long enough to see my son graduate basic training or graduate college, whatever it is I think sometimes people have others within their family that kind of pushes them a little bit.
Yeah.
And if I had a 16, 17-year-old daughter that said, Daddy, I want you to be alive to walk me down there, I'd probably bring a tear to my eye and
Right.
let me do it. So,
yeah.
so I want everybody else to make a goal, a September 30th goal that's realistic,
For them.
obtainable,
Yeah.
and every week we're going to check on each other's goals.
I like it.
I like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Good.
by that time, Country Thunder rolls around. It's nice and
Nice.
slim.
Yeah. So well, good, and then also good for you because, like I said, we did that one episode to where, you were kind of like miffed at people calling you out or asking you about your diet. Now you're throwing it out there to the universe.
Throwing it out there.
Now you are like all these eyes on you, all this accountability,
Yeah.
all this, finger wagging. If you don't do it, I told you, you
Yeah.
gave it. Yeah.
So I could change my mind before we publish this episode later today.
You
Could
could.
I just not publish it, right?
Right. Right.
But I'm not going to.
But I'm not doing another fucking episode, so
Right.
you better find something
There you
else.
So let me ask you this question. We're going to turn the channel, and we're going to segue.
But don't you turn the channel.
You don't turn.
There's not channels. Yeah, this is our channel, huh?
This is our
We have a
channel.
YouTube channel.
We have a Fit and Fat Man
Wow,
YouTube
we are
channel.
big time.
And there's 2 videos on it. Last week's podcast, which
Uh-huh.
we recorded, and our movie trailer.
That was pretty sick.
So if you haven't seen our movie
You
trailer,
got it,
check
yeah.
that
You guys
out.
got to check out what Ian did with that movie trailer. That's pretty sick. And
And-
I don't know anything about that stuff, so I was super impressed. Like, yeah.
So We were also, while we were consulting in a hospitality gig this weekend, we were talking about why neither one of us really want to do hospitality anymore. It's just not in our hearts. I think when we were younger, we really did care about customer service, and I still care about training people to become good managers and good leaders. But I want you to open the door that we're about to walk through and point out why you got out of the hospitality industry and you don't wish to do it anymore.
Yeah, I'd say my biggest complaint is, like you, my path in hospitality, leadership, and management. Because I've been in management since I was 18 years old. I'm not trying to brag. I'm just saying that's what I aspire to do, and I was fortunate enough to be able to do that and have some good mentors. So I've been managing, leading people, and working with folks in this industry for a long time. You know, that's what, over 20, 30 some years, whatever. And over time, I learned a lot. I made a lot of mistakes, but I learned a lot, and I began to where, yeah, the best part of it for me was not the operations day-to-day stuff. I mean, that's just is what it is, but it's the working with other folks, right? Working with, like, maybe you being now the mentor, you being the teacher, you know, showing someone how they can prosper in their career, or they can make some more money. I took a 19-year-old gal who had never waited tables in her life. I think her other job was like a bus girl and a bus person in a pizza shop, and turned her into one of our, probably the most, or definitely the head of our VIP servers, making like $600 a night. You know, selling bottles of booze, and just because she listened to what, you know, I had to say, just did things and had the ambition. She had to want to do it. But anyway, but on the other end of the spectrum for me is the other side, the customer service side. And that's what I always preach. I always consider myself and you know this because we've worked together, where I pride myself on customer service. You know, I like those attaboys. I like when a customer reaches out and said, hey, Brack, I know, or his staff or his crew, whatever, they went above and beyond. It feels good, you know. It was great. I always aspired to do that. But that got less and less and less with, like, reviews, Google reviews, and Yelps, and you know, I'm not even talking about comment cards. Those have always been around, but people are too lazy to fill out a comment card. But people are so cowardly, they will go on the internet and talk shit and lie out the side of their fucking mouths about you, or demand, what's the word? Compensation. I want compensation, because I had, seriously, in the hotel business, had a guest come down and say he almost fell in the bathroom and he wants compensation. I said, what? You almost fell.
So that's one of two C words. The first C word being see you next Tuesday. And the second C word being compensation. So, and here's what started us on this whole thing. I was trying to figure out what time Fry's opened. And I went on to their hours and I saw this review. And this is what started us. So her name is Hannah, although we can call her Karen. And I apologize if there's any Karens watching.
Poor Karen, yeah, poor Karen.
It is what it is. So Hannah says, I've gone to return an item without a receipt 2 times. Who the fuck does that? Like, if you don't have a receipt, don't fucking return it.
Look, I'm not even mad that maybe she tried it once. That's, if you try it, okay, if you tried it. What the fuck you going back twice for?
Right.
He said, yeah.
So, and then she got my ire up. Okay, why would you go to a store and return something without a receipt? How do you know you bought it? All that kind of crap. So then I kept reading, and this person goes to the pharmacy, and they say after this visit to the pharmacy, a review is needed. And I worked with the pharmacy. I had an issue with the scripts filled and was questioning things, asking to speak with a pharmacist and a manager, and she huffed. I proceeded to count my bills and had been shorted on opiates. And she told me to go home and complain to mommy and daddy, as you're probably living off their nice benefits.
What?
Entirely inaccurate, as she was just upset I'm driving a BMW as a 31-year-old and have a career. So I read through that without all the misspellings, without the fucked up punctuation, where they curse out the employee and they repeat themselves several times. I skimmed that down for you, but it's a 31-year-old with a career getting opiates driving a BMW, and you're complaining about what? That you want to speak to a manager and
She
a
was
pharmacist.
who the fuck sits there and counts out their opiates before you
So-
leave the pharmacy?
It-
Somebody has a drug problem.
So here's what pisses me off, and this comes to my point, is if somebody asks to speak to the manager and I'm the manager, you've already pissed me off. And here's why. Because I've been diligent in training my staff. I've been diligent in making sure that they're good with customer service and that they know the laws to follow. So by asking for me, you've already insulted me by saying that I haven't trained my staff properly, right?
True.
So let's say
Good point.
a 22-year-old goes up to a bar or a nightclub, doesn't have ID. And the doorman says, no, I'm sorry, I can't let you in without ID. It would be illegal. It would be against the liquor law.
And
Right?
because you only look 22, meaning you could look 19, you could look 23,
Okay.
doesn't matter.
So then I want to talk to a manager, right? Well, first of all, I'm not going to override the doorman because it's the law. Second of all,
And you trained that doorman that that's their specialty. That's all that person knows.
he just did exactly what he's been trained to
Yes,
do.
what you taught him to do.
So what's a manager gonna do? So
Nothing.
Ken and Karen's, who I want to talk to a manager. Okay, well, you've already assaulted the manager, so, but
good luck.
the fucking customer's always right. That's what started this fucking bullshit.
Which is such an asinine statement.
Right. So, and here's a great example before I get too angry. This is many, many years ago, and I was at Olive Garden. And I was just sitting in a booth by myself. It was
Well,
early
love
afternoon.
me some Olive Garden, but yeah.
And there was a tweaker couple sitting behind me. And the server could not have been nicer. And I hear the couple order an appetizer. I'm not trying to eavesdrop. I'm by myself, nothing to do in a restaurant while you're waiting.
So you're eavesdropping, yeah.
So he walks away and they go, okay, well, we'll leave half and then we'll complain so it'll be for free.
Oh,
So the server doesn't know any of this. So he walks back up, delivers the appetizer, he does my thing at my table, refills my iced tea, comes back 5 minutes later and he goes, how's the appetizer? And she starts complaining about how it's not as advertised and it doesn't taste good and that they're not paying for it, right? So he goes, well, I'm really, really sorry to hear about that. I'll have a manager stop by the table. Which is a nice thing to do, and the manager needs to do table touches anyway.
sure.
So the manager comes by a couple minutes later, and the girl starts going, and the server was so rude to us.
Oh.
Oh, he was not. So now are they?
Now they're just bald-faced lying.
Right. So not only now are they trying to get the appetizer for free, but here, how fucking dare you, somebody who's working for less than minimum wage on tips,
Dude.
now you're gonna try to get him in trouble to get yourself a free fucking meal?
Are we gonna get to the point to where now servers or customer service people have to wear body cams? You know,
Here-
just to protect themselves, like
No,
you know.
here's the point that we are at now, is people are no longer doing those jobs. Is people
Why would you?
in restaurants, they can no longer find employees who not only are gonna put up with horrible managers, leaders, and ownership that treat them like shit, pay them like shit, and talk to them like shit.
Yeah.
But now they gotta get it from underneath too, that the customer's
Well,
gonna
the
complain
customers
about
want
them.
something,
Where
always
they
want
don't have
something.
job security, they're working for shit, he knows he's not getting tipped from these fucking tweakers, right?
Yeah.
So you can't find anybody, the restaurants and nightclubs, bars, it's hard to find employees now. Is on, quit managing and start leading. I just posted an article this morning. And forgive me, I should give the author and where it came from credit. Is they just did a survey that 95% of
I read
people have thought about quitting their job post-pandemic. 95%, Brad.
Yeah.
And that's worldwide. That's just not in the hospitality business.
It was a wake up call for folks, for employees, right? It was a wake up call for them. How come it hasn't been a wake up call for employers, owners, staffers?
Right.
How come they haven't said, "Oh, look what's happening"? How come they're not getting it, or they just lagging behind, or it's going to have to hit rock bottom? I mean, what?
I think that several points, but I think it was a rite of passage to work in a fast food restaurant in high school, right?
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
I did my time at Wendy's in high school. It's kind of like a rite of passage. Then the parents tell the kids, "Well, I did it. You can do it too."
Yeah. But I don't look at those as bad memories. I don't remember. It wasn't that bad then.
Yeah.
I was happy to be making
It wasn't that bad. And I think that people that do this online, that people that, and I'll refer to three things that I've posted on Quick Managing, is this guy's niece got fired from McDonald's, so he went to McDonald's and beat the manager so bad he lost an eye. Another girl has hot coffee thrown on her, and then me and you, we watched the video of this lady go behind the counter and physically attack.
Attacking.
That didn't happen when we were young.
No.
It wouldn't have happened to either one
Yeah.
of us anyway. But I think that people are taking their aggressions out on strangers.
Yeah.
I think that people are becoming bigger bullies because we know that people like that from our work experience is bullies are going to be bullies and they pick on weaker people, right?
Yeah.
Is those Karens, maybe they're so leveraged that their home's upside down, that they can't afford their car anymore. But with their fucking short hair and their fucking ugly mugs come in, well, you're just a McDonald's worker, so I can pick on you.
Yeah.
I'm above you.
Yeah, exactly.
Type shit.
Yeah.
But they're fucking keyboard warriors who hide at home and put reviews
Yeah.
like this, right?
Yeah. Looking back, I remember getting chewed out by customers for valid reasons coming up in the hospitality industry, mostly in restaurants, right? I got chewed out because we were understaffed, because the food was shit, the food was cold, because we were being, and I had not, like, I remember, like, that's a valid reason. Like, I gotta suck it up and fucking take that ass chewing. I gotta take that ass chewing. It wasn't until, like, I think I got into probably almost my 40s until it changed where people were just bitching to bitch because they felt privileged or entitled, exactly, because they fucking felt entitled.
So
That's where we are as
where we are.
as America. I don't know about the world, but definitely as a nation. Too many fucking entitled pricks.
right, and they come in all flavors.
Oh
right?
yeah.
And they come in every industry that you have to deal with a customer. And I think you know me well enough that I do I try to go above and beyond to be nice as a customer. Whether it's in a Circle K, a 7-Eleven, a restaurant,
Yeah,
or
always
a
please,
bar,
thank you.
is
Yeah.
they're having a bad day. It's not their fault that they got 5 tables sat right in a row and they're in the weeds.
Right.
It's not their fault that the food's cold.
Yeah.
They probably put in the order and then they haven't touched the food even after it's at your table because a runner probably brought it out.
Yeah.
But those are legitimate complaints. But to chew out a fucking server or to go online and give somebody a 1-star because you feel you were mistreated when in all actuality you weren't. I've never worked in a pharmacy, but I can imagine their laws on opiates are pretty fucking strict.
Oh
Right?
yeah.
I mean, just imagine,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
With the gates.
I
and
bet
the
there's a
safes.
very narrow margin for inaccuracy in that field.
I can imagine. And so here's another one that's just obvious. Like we live in the 5th largest city in America, right? Phoenix.
Wow.
So this Yvette goes, order groceries online to pick up the next day, only $50 worth. I show up after driving 30 minutes. Where in the fuck are you coming from in Phoenix to go to this supermarket?
Yeah. Are you coming from? Yeah. Where do you live that you drive 30 minutes to go to Phoenix?
If you drove for 30 minutes, let's just say you drove for 30 minutes west. How many supermarkets did you drive past in 30
20.
minutes? At least 20, right? One a minute.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, where are they coming?
So it's an obvious, like, they're just trying
Yeah,
to
exactly.
exaggerate. Because, now, what are people expecting? We just talked about the Olive Garden. They were expecting the appetizer to come off and then part of their meals to be for free. So what does she get by this?
What was the complaint again? What was the complaint?
Is order groceries online to pick up the next day, only $50 worth. I show up after driving 30 minutes and they didn't bother to call me to tell me my order was 2 hours behind. So I come the next day and pull up after waiting 45 minutes. The car behind gets her groceries.
What?
But I didn't. So
That doesn't.
are you expecting a manager or a regional supervisor or the owner to reach out to you and say, hey, I'm gonna refund that whole order? Like, what are they expecting to get by doing that?
Right. Or they just bitching.
But
Or they just bitching the bitch.
we all know it's a blatant lie, right? So,
Or if at the minimum, a huge embellishment.
right,
Right.
at minimum,
Yeah.
right? But what if people, let's say we're in a hotel and people are just bitching. They want that C word. They want a full refund. They are a see you next Tuesday that wants compensation,
Coot.
right?
A coot.
And that guy that you're talking about who almost fell
Almost slipped.
wanted a free night, right?
Yeah.
Because he
Almost fell.
fell. I can't go on.
I almost punched myself in the face. That was the last establishment I worked in like that industry or hospitality. And there were several like incidences like that. I'm like, I just can't do it anymore.
I can't do it.
I can't do it anymore. I'm done. I will deliver newspapers. I guess there are so newspapers. For you guys don't know, they would come to you like the internet, but in a paper form.
Right. So now, I'm just gonna take a wild stab at this and say you were probably making double minimum wage-ish.
Sure.
Ish. But now think about that person who's working the front desk, who's making minimum wage, that puts up 5 times as much as that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That answers the phone to complaints, that answers I'm seriously sick to my stomach thinking about those poor employees that have to put up with these Karens face to face. And we're not talking once a day, we're talking several per day.
Yeah.
I mean, now I'm on opiates.
Yeah. Right. I think in that industry you can start off, as a young person, you can work it so long, but then eventually you just become bitter yourself, right?
That's it.
You become, what you hate probably, because
Right.
you're probably, because I've seen like some older folks in that industry where they don't take shit,
Right.
and it's not good either way. It's not how you should be treating customers.
And it has the opposite effect, because then you no longer want to provide customer service.
You're not. You're always on the defensive.
Right. When I was young in this industry, I was a head doorman, head of security, and I did something for a customer, and the manager goes, "You would make a good customer service manager." Dude, I was young, I was eager, I wanted to make people's
Yeah.
visits to that property good. Nowadays, I see a customer walking towards me, and I pretend I'm on my
shit.
phone, I walk in the other direction,
Cover your name tag, Wash.
because I know what's coming, right?
Yeah.
Is out of, if you were standing at one of our busy nightclubs, and 100 people walked up to talk to you, like they're walking towards you, and of those 100, how many would be a compliment and be like, "Oh, I had a great time, the server was awesome, the entertainment was spot on, thank you so
Oh,
much."
especially the nightclub industry, because everybody knows how to run a nightclub better than you.
Everybody knows what music should be played,
Everybody knows,
Everybody knows what band you should have.
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And everybody knows better in the restaurant industry too. I found a hair in my food. Well, it's fucking not mine or yours, right? Is 99 out of the 100 are going to be complaints, right? It's going to be negative. That it's so painful,
Yeah.
dude. And you see it coming. You're walking towards you. You just, how do you smile? Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Right?
Just-
How
just
can I
be a-
compensate you?
And all it boils down to is just be a better person. Just be a better person.
Don't kick
Don't
puppies.
lie. Yes. Don't bully. Don't lie.
Don't bully.
Don't try to get shit for free. If you can't afford to keep your dusty ass at home.
So just to be clear, is Fitty and Fatty are anti-bully.
We do not condone
And-
bullying.
In bullying, you think back to high school about the bigger kids bullying the little kids, or the football players bullying the nerds. It's fucking Karens bullying these little 17-year-old kids.
Yeah.
It's people who feel that they're superior, and for whatever reason they think that person's inferior to them. So I'm gonna pick on you because
Yeah.
what are you gonna do about it?
Yeah.
And really, it's not illegal.
No.
No, right? What's the worst you can do is the police are calling you get trespassed from the property. Ooh,
Right.
big fucking deal, right?
Right.
All right.
Yep.
So don't bully.
Don't be a bully. Don't be an asshole. Just be a good person.
Now, I have bad news for you. Now that that's out of our
That was the good news?
system.
Okay.
I have bad news.
Okay.
Is nobody sent you any advice about your air fryer dilemma? Not one.
What? See, so now
It's
there
there.
it
Don't,
sits.
don't look at me. It's
And
there.
so there it sits. Now we'll sit again because I don't have any idea what the hell to cook in.
Nothing.
A baked potato. But why am I going to use that for a baked potato? Like put it in the microwave and it cooks half the
But why
time.
couldn't just one person get on there and fucking type?
Give
And
us
tell
something.
you, put chicken nuggets in there and cook for
Well,
7
maybe
minutes.
maybe only one person looks at this and made me feel like it.
Maybe only one person watched it 108 times.
See,
Or
so
5 people watched it 20
somebody,
times.
yeah. So somebody could have gave me one stinking
one.
recipe.
One out of the 108.
And you know what? I'll put out a challenge. You send me a recipe. You send us a recipe. I will take pictures, video it, whatever. Actually cook it, do it, and show you, and we can put the
And give
videos
them
up.
credit.
Yeah, say hey, this
So
is my.
we'll cook it next week and we'll put it right there
Yeah.
and we'll put a video on it
Yeah, I'm not.
and
yeah.
give credit to that
We'll
person.
taste. We'll do a little taste test right
Give 'em-
on.
give 'em a
right
little
on.
shout out.
Right on air. Hell yeah.
A little shout out.
hey.
You want to get a shout out on Fitty and Fatty? Do it. Now on to our sponsor. You know who our sponsor is this week?
I'm gonna say it's one of one. Hefe Lobo.
El Jefe Lobo.
Nice t-shirts. Good t-shirts.
So here's there's a daily special on t-shirts.
Today's a special. Every day's a
Daily special.
Every day's a special.
And those
There is a
t-shirts
special.
are
Okay.
only good for 7 days. And then they can never be bought again.
One of a kinds.
One of a kind.
Nice.
Or if 2 people order, then they're 2 of a kind.
Okay.
So today's has the wolf logo, El Jefe logo on it. It says tread carefully.
Ooh.
So if you're in a bad mood and you want to go out, you got to go out and like the other day, I know this guy had to go out and get some feminine products. Let's say you're walking into Walgreens, you got to do it, and it's not. It's okay to be masculine and still go do that for
Oh,
your
yeah, look,
significant
yeah.
other. But I don't want anybody else to look at me or talk to me while I'm doing
No,
it.
I want
So-
no funny comments.
So you can just wear your El Jefe Lobo shirt that says "Tread carefully"
Yeah.
before you fucking say a word to me.
Watch your mouth.
Right, watch your mouth.
Okay.
So eljefelobo.com or lajefaloba.com,
The female version.
the female version of the Boss Wolf, because there's plenty of good female bosses
Yeah.
and lone wolves out there.
Oh, I've had some.
Either or.
Yeah, and I've had some great leaders and mentors that were women or female managers. They're probably better than half the fucking men. But anyway, that's.
Anyway, anything else this week?
I think I have.
You got one more thing? to get
Maybe one more. But this I just saw today. Okay, first of all, I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm gonna put it out there because I'm comfortable in my manhood, in my masculinity, and I can say, and because I have this phobia about clipping my own toenails, I hate it. I hate it. It's like it gives me the heebie-jeebies. Not that my toenails are nasty. Not that I have a thing with feet.
No mold.
No, but I hate it. Like it gives me the creeps. Like if you know how people freak out if you put nails on the chalkboard.
Right.
That's what it feels like to me. So like when I was young, living at home, my sister clipped my toenails for me, and then I tried to get my wife or girlfriend at the time. Then it got kind of okay for guys to go get pedicures, or I went with a girlfriend or something of mine. So I started going. But now I don't have a girlfriend, so I fucking go by myself, and I just sit there on my phone. I watch TV. Anyway, so I was getting a pedicure today. Don't judge me. I don't get the nail polish. They just clean up your feet. They give you a nice massage.
There you go.
They talk shit about
What's something like that cost?
Today-
$35.
$35.
Okay.
Yeah, plus the tip. Yeah,
Okay.
today it cost me.
So $50.
But I splurged. I
Okay.
did the salt scrub and the
Ah.
hot stone massage on the calves, dude. Oh, and then like I said, then the Asian women sit there and talk about you probably like you're a dog. But anyway, so while I was doing that, I was, watching the TVs, and I saw that this was kind of, and I don't know much about it. I just saw this on the TV, like CNN or something. So I guess the government was having this big deal about this. And I think it was the White House, or was it maybe LA government, that they had this huge bust, the largest marijuana bust of illegal marijuana.
I didn't know
Ever.
there was such a thing anymore.
Well,
So you can't buy it on the street anymore. That would be illegal,
Right.
but you can buy it at a dispensary.
So now, isn't it kind of coincidence now that I bet now that the government can now you're tapping into their money, right?
Right.
Now I think the war on drugs or war on marijuana, I bet takes a totally different route than like the war on, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I just thought that was kind of crazy. Now all of a sudden they get this big huge bust.
Can't collect tax dollars off street drugs,
Right? Like 300,000 pounds they found of illegal.
300,000 pounds.
300,000 pounds of
Where
marijuana.
was this at?
LA County, somewhere like that's where,
I
yeah.
can believe it was California.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't get me started.
Right, you don't, you have a thing with California.
Because California smells like fucking pot. we
Which-
went over this.
Yeah. Which one of these, I think one of these days we should do some marijuana. Is that what you can do? Do the marijuana.
Do the marijuana.
Do the marijuana. We'll do some edibles, or we'll do an online video podcast of ourselves as we
It would
sit
be
here.
my first time in 20 years.
Yeah. Probably like not as long for me,
I
but
think it'd be more entertaining.
I dated
for
a
them
guy
than
who
for
lived in
us.
California, so I was doing. But yeah, we should do it.
Fucking California.
Fuck.
There's the third C word.
California.
See you next Tuesday.
Here's the
Conversation
problem.
California.
The problem is though that you live there. See, I don't have that disdain because I love visiting there. But
Anyway, is that it?
that's all I got.
Okay, here.
Go ahead, Donna.
Hey, one more time. Instead of the scrolling,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
comment,
Please.
subscribe.
Maybe
See how that goes across
within
the
the
top?
next couple episodes you can figure out how to do the
Fine,
flash.
I'll figure it out. Because I'm one of those guys that
Eventually you
it'll-
will, yeah.
It'll bother me, and I won't go to bed until I do figure
Eventually
it out.
you will.
Right?
I
won't
know
sleep
you
a
will.
wink.
I know you will.
All right, brother, good job.
All right, good job.
See you next week.
Bye.